Do you feel like you're broken? Like you're damaged from your childhood and that it's getting in the way of your relationships and that it's just not going to work out for you because you're broken? What you bring to a relationship is damaged and isn't good enough, and therefore you'll never find love? You tend to push people away. Welcome to my Broken to Brave podcast. I'm Donna Barnes, the love coach. Feeling broken on some level, I think a lot of people feel and a lot of people deal with. And the whole "if you really knew me, would you still love me" idea, I think most people won't articulate, but probably feel. You're afraid to share your feelings to somebody because if you're really honest, you don't feel lovable. And that's not true. The whole like you are what you think you are, you tend to manifest the things that you fear. And if you feel broken, you will never, ever maintain a relationship because you fear that you're not really lovable because you're broken. Today, I want to really help you get past that because blame is a big part of feeling broken. If you're blaming your childhood or your parents or some tragic incident that happened, some trauma for why you're broken and that you can't get past it or that it's destroying your relationships or whatever the consequences is for you that you feel broken, if you stop blaming, you'll stop feeling broken and empowered to move forward and do whatever it is that you feel like you want to do. Being empowered is about taking responsibility for your stuff, right? We've all got it. We've all got something. Even if you had the most perfect, outwardly seeming childhood, you still had some hurt feelings around something. I mean, gosh, years ago, there was a guy that, we just fell head over heels in love. And then, he had commitment issues, right? He just couldn't do it. But anyway, what my point is I got him to take this workshop, Getting the Love You Want workshop, which I highly recommend, actually. It was very good. Harville Hendricks, right? But the therapist said to him, well, you have some really hurt feelings around the fact that your father worked a lot and wasn't always at your baseball games. And he got really defensive and said, don't try to turn me against my parents. That's like, wow, I had to say to him, it's not about turning you against your parents. It's about healing the hurt feelings of that little boy who just wanted his dad at his baseball games, right? So that's exactly my point on we're all broken on some level. There's some hurt, some feeling that just, we didn't, unfortunately, child abuse, right? Like in one form or another is very common, especially in an older generation, right? Today's generation is getting better parenting, it seems. But while you continue to blame anything at all from your past that has happened to you, it's going to prevent you from finding happiness in the future. So I'd like to encourage you to feel empowered and take control over what you can heal and what you can look at, because you can. People can change if they want to. And I know it's difficult and it's a process and change doesn't happen overnight. No one can make you feel or do anything without your permission. So I'm giving you permission to decide that you are not a victim, you are not broken, you are an empowered human being capable of making good choices and good decisions and having loving relationships. And it really is as simple as switching that mindset. Let me put a new thought in your head that you are empowered to do anything at all that you choose that you want to do. Broken feeling, especially depending on how old you are. I know a much younger me had a lot that I wanted to blame my childhood for. I didn't break free of that and didn't have really truly loving relationships until I stopped blaming whatever happened in my childhood and became an empowered woman as an adult. That's the whole thing. Like when you blame, you miss the lesson. Really looking at it and unpacking stuff that happened is definitely helpful. And it's also how you get on the other side of it. And I've frequently said, writing with pen on paper is really a great way for your brain to release stuff. So if you feel broken, journal about it. Really, honestly, if you've never done that, you'll find it's the most helpful thing you can possibly do. Just write down whatever feelings are bothering you, because then you'll release it. I really think it's because you kind of subconsciously know that those feelings are there. They're on paper. You could go back and revisit it if you want to. But you know what? If I'm honest, I've journaled a lot throughout my life. I don't when I'm happy, if I'm honest. I only do when I'm really struggling with something and feeling emotional about it. And sometimes I open up my journal and I'll look, and it's been a decade since I last wrote. That's kind of my point. I don't really go back and look at it because I unpacked it. I wrote it down. It's there. I can revisit it if I want to. But honestly, I don't want to. The whole point of writing down your hurt feelings is to let them go. And if you do feel broken, it's exceptionally difficult to maintain a good relationship. And years ago, somebody once said to me, well, if I'm broken and you're broken, what's the problem? It's because both of your issues are going to come up in different ways. We all have different issues, and we all have different stimulants and things that push our buttons, right? But knowing what does push your buttons and being able to articulate them will really help in fostering your relationships in a loving way. This is the whole way that it plays out in relationships. If you have an issue about something and then your partner does something that stimulates that issue and you have an extraordinary reaction to it that seems out of context to your partner, if you can very empowered say to your partner, hey, look, that's a button for me. That's from my childhood. That's not about you. And I'm sorry that I had that strong reaction. That's from, and if you feel close enough to them, you can really even open up and reveal why that's a button for you. The more you can unpack and look at why you feel broken, the more empowered you can be in owning your stuff. And look, it is exceptionally attractive if someone is working on their stuff and can own it and can stop it from sabotaging your relationships. And we're all capable of that. It's not even about, yes, therapy can be wonderful, but you can also just journal. And there's a plethora of books to read. Like, I've been very open about the fact that there's a book called The Betrayal Bond, which I think is exceptionally helpful, which honestly my therapist recommended to me when I was in my 30s. Very helpful book at helping you unpack toxic relationships and people that have been toxic and abusive to you in one way or another. I highly recommend it. If too many people have the attitude of like, yeah, this is me, take it or leave it, don't really want to do any kind of self-growth on themselves, but we all have to. And it's the only way we're ever going to get on the other side of having happy relationships and stopping to push people away. Unfortunately, we cannot undo anything that happened to us. And especially as a child, it has shaped us, has made us who we are. But by blaming whatever it was or whoever it was that caused us to be that way, it's causing us to not have healthy relationships. But by choosing to really forgive, but to also then just take responsibility for your own stuff and own it and know what it is, actually. Because the real way that relationships blow up is by not knowing what your issues are. And you never know how you're going to feel about something until you're actually in it. Which is why, unfortunately, sometimes, you see with celebrities, they get married, they're divorced, like within months, because something came up for them that they didn't know how they were going to feel about it. And the better you know yourself and the more you've unpacked that really scary stuff that you don't want to look at, the more successful your relationships will be. And, baby steps, right? If it's really toxic, you look at a little bit, then you look at a little bit more, and it's a period of time that you can really get to a healthier place with. But I promise you, it's really worth doing. If you're watching this and you're thinking, yeah, I'm broken, I'm just broken, that's just the way I am. No, you have been broken, but you can heal that if you choose to, and if you choose to believe that you are empowered to do whatever it is that you want to do, and journal about it, because I think that's very helpful in releasing those toxic feelings, hurt feelings. It'll help you have better relationships. If you respond badly to something and then you can share with your partner that that's not about your partner, it's about something that you had in your past, it's going to make your partner feel more endeared to you instead of angry at you or defensive that they didn't know that they were upsetting you when they did something. So leave me your comments. Do you feel broken? Have you felt broken? Are you blaming someone for why you feel broken? Are you past that? Leave me your comments. I really do enjoy hearing them. And it gives me ideas about things to make other podcasts about. And yeah, please like my video if you will, so the algorithm shows it to more people. And I'm here for coaching. If you really need help with something, I'm really good at unpacking stuff. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next episode.